Hey there, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for yet another exciting episode. We're really excited because we have some fun stuff to talk about, something brand new, a new type of product from KeyDigital here. And that product is a 4K wireless HDMI extension kit. That's right. You can now extend HDMI with up to 4K resolution wirelessly and reliable thanks to KeyDigital. It took us a little while to develop this technology. We didn't want to release anything into the marketplace that wasn't 100% solid, and that sort of reliability requires time for the proper research and development. But thanks to advancements in technology and chipsets available, we have that product available for you. It's called KD4KWHCEX. That is a transmitter plus receiver wireless 4K wireless HDMI extension set. So it supports 4K resolution, 3840 by 2160 at 60 hertz with HDR, HDCP authentication, and 2-channel audio supported as the extended audio format. It does also support lower resolution, so it's not only for 4K. If you have a 1080p application, not a problem at all. In addition to HDMI, you also can send one-directional IR signals. So you can point your IR remote at a IR sensor that's going to be connected to your receive unit to control your cable boxes, Apple TV, or other equipment that could be located at the transmitter unit. And talking about making the product, developing, maturing until the product was reliable. Well, the way we were able to get this done is through 5G wireless frequency. That's what we're using to extend from transmitter to receiver. So we all know how well 5G works. Now, to clarify, we're not jumping on an existing 5G network. Each transmitter creates its own 5G network, if you are, a frequency that the receiver then joins to receive that HDMI signal. The distance for this product is actually up to 100 feet or 30 meters. And we've been known to go even further in some of the demos we do when we have just started launching this product, is, at the trade shows where there's no walls. Yes, those are noisy environments, but there's no walls, no ceilings that we're going through, and we're going way more than 100 feet, 30 meters. However, we market this at 100 feet, 30 meters, because we know that in the real world applications, you typically do have to go through walls and ceilings. So again, you know how 5G works. Just think of it that same way, because that's already a familiar concept for you. 5G works great, but then as you go through walls and ceilings, that's when you start to see a lesser, that it takes away that distance performance. Now, something that's very cool about our product is that we can actually have up to 4 sets available in the same area. They will all use a unique 5G frequency. It cannot be set up as a splitter, 1 transmitter to 4 receivers. It's 4 point-to-point sets, okay? And this is a very cool feature. Folks have already called in saying, hey, I've got another brand's wireless HDMI extender, and they only support 1 set per job site. And, we need to add a 2nd, 3rd, 4th TV. How do we do it with your product? It's a piece of cake. We'll show you how. So really, the need for wireless HDMI, there's a few needs. One, it could just be a job site where that that cabling has gotten damaged and you cannot access that wire. You can't open up the walls anymore because of wallpaper, those sorts of things. We've had folks installing these products in historical buildings. Museums come to mind, and other historical buildings where, again, just running new wires is not an option. But you also have things like your live events and your pop-ups and your presentations, where in the past you've had to dedicate additional hours and have loads of trouble of taping down the cabling. But now if you could do that in a wireless way, what a great tool this has. That is a time-saving tool, and allowing you to do these large-scale presentations effortlessly. So let's look at the connectivity of the KD4K WHCEX and how it works for some of your application examples, starting with a simple application of like a presentation where you're just plugging in with your laptop with an HDMI from that video source, extending to the receiver to a projector or flat panel display, for example, and without any wires in the middle, transmitter to receiver. You basically, you plug them in. If you only have one set in your job site, you plug them in, they're already paired and they're ready to go. So you plug them in, you're going to see a little LED blink for about 3 to 5 seconds. Once both units are powered in, they do both require power on each end, and then you're going to have your video signal on your display about 3 to 5 seconds after that plug-in time. And you even see a message on the display that says that it is pairing in that moment. Okay. We go one step further. And how about for those presentations, if you need to have a confidence monitor or presenter's display, perhaps we rewind to that presentation image where you have a huge projector behind the presenter. They don't want to be looking over their shoulder every few moments, do they? Having that monitor up front is a great benefit. So right there at the podium or lectern, where the transmitter is located perhaps, or table, you have a confidence monitor connected HDMI into that monitor. And I tell you, this is also very big for the residential applications. We're going to show some application examples there. But imagine, your outdoor displays, you don't have to now dedicate a cable box just for that outdoor display. Okay, you could keep that for that display. So here we are, for example, your porch, your patio, of course, projectors, displays, doesn't always have to be a projector. In fact, some folks are dedicating displays using a nice outdoor cover as a weatherproof cover as a professional means of doing that is quite popular now, or just depending on where you live. Sometimes, you see all sorts of different solutions for making sure that your displays are set up outside. Sometimes you do something if you have an inexpensive display that indicates you don't really care so much about the longevity of the display. So you see things as you go around bars and restaurants, don't we? So here's some very nice examples of outdoor displays and just the benefit and the, adding to that relaxation of your porch, your patio, your pool as well. That, man, those jumbo theater screens, jumbo projector screens are quite cost effective now and can really just, be something that you really enjoy with your friends, families, loved ones in the summertime and when the weather is good. And I was talking about the outdoor situations like this, the outdoor installations, with that pass-through port. If you have a cable box, for example, you want to watch the big game on your outdoor display, without that pass-through port, you'd really have to disconnect that cable box from the display, perhaps in the living room, master bedroom, etc., and plug it in the transmitter, right? But not anymore, thanks to the pass-through port. Here's another example of the pass-through port, and the benefit that gives you is connecting into an audio receiver amplifier, right? With an HDMI input. Now you would have surround audio perhaps, or at least you wouldn't be subjected to only using the display speakers by going into this audio amplifier, thanks to the benefit of the pass-through port. Now, one very important note though is that the 4K WHCEX only supports 2-channel audio. We mentioned this before. 2-channel audio. It can only extend 2-channel audio. And so if you wanted to have multi-channel surround audio, at that amplifier, The way you'd go about achieving that is by having some kind of EDID management device. We would recommend, of course, our own KD Fix 418A-2 with the EDID management dial, because the transmitter of the wireless extender set, the 4K WHCEX transmitter, only has one EDID profile. That is 4K with 2-channel audio. It doesn't have any EDID profiles for multi-channel because it doesn't support it. And you would end up with an awful noise, for example, at the display. So you need to turn down the volume of the display, use an EDID management device on the front end, set the EDID management to multi-channel to feed that into your surround audio receiver. And this is one way to achieve that. Of course, you may also already have another, like a KeyDigital matrix in the system as well. Now, let's look at if you did have multiple transmit, receive extender sets, wireless extender sets. There are 4 unique 5G Wi-Fi wireless channels, frequencies that the 4K WHCEX supports. They are 5.18 gig, 5.2, 5.22, and 5.24 gigahertz. Now, I mentioned out of the box, your units are already paired, ready to go. But if you have multiple sets, pairing those units to start using a different frequency is very easy. So for those installation sites with multiple sets, you have to pair one by one your transmitter and receiver, beginning with the first set. Even though they're already paired, plug in the first transmit and receive set. And I recommend don't even install it yet. Don't put it behind the display where it might be difficult to access the buttons, okay? Just get it out on your bench, transmit, receive, plug in power. You don't need to have HDMI connected yet. Plug in power, press and hold the pairing button. It's on the face of the unit. Press and hold the pairing button simultaneously on the transmit and receive units. You're going to see the wireless LED begin to blink. Once it begins blinking, release the button. You're going to see pairing. We note here it takes up to 1 minute. In my experience, it's been more like 10, 20 seconds, okay? You're going to see the wireless LED, the LED that says wireless, you're going to see that become solid on both the transmitter and receiver. You're done. Now you go and take that first set and go install it. Open up the box of the second set, repeat the steps, plug them both in on your bench, press and hold the pairing button, wireless LED begins to blink, release, wait for it to become solid, boom, move it to the second set, third and fourth set, can be repeated if you need. I alluded to a story of somebody calling saying, hey, I'm using a wireless extender and it's only supports 1 set per job site. That was an RV. How hard has that been over the years for those folks who have done these kind of installations before? Mobile home RV, where you have, you really need to do a lot and you don't have a lot of space for wiring. This is a great solution for you. And now we know these RVs are kind of like palaces on wheels, and having 4 displays in an RV is not unheard of. So now you know how to achieve that with the 4K WHCEX. Here's an example of having a matrix on the front end and having up to 4 zones with that 4x4 matrix with the wireless. So remember, with KeyDigital here, we have the full assortment of HDMI solutions and connectivity products, signal management products, routing, matrixing, switching, and distribution, and now extension wirelessly with KD 4K WHCEX. Thank you very much for joining us. We certainly appreciate your time. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us, sales@keydigital.com.